Hello guys and girls, my name is Shane and today we're working on our part 2 episode in the series of how to become a game developer using Unity Engine in the year 2021, knowing little to no information about game development at all. So last episode I gave you guys an introduction and I actually showed you how to download Unity Engine. This episode we're going to open up the Unity Hub and I'm going to explain to you guys a little bit about the main UI, and we're actually going to start our first project. So this is our Unity Hub icon right here. When you download Unity Hub, this is what's going to come standard. You might also have a little package like this that says your Unity version. Now this is not going to be stored inside of a folder. I like to make a folder and store all of my update versions in there because sometimes things can go missing. You can always re-download them super easily, but I like to keep a folder just to keep things organized. So let's open up our Unity Hub. This is going to be the main user face for the Unity Hub, okay? Right here, this is where it shows your projects in the Projects tab. I have one project open right now. This is called my Mini Dimensions mobile project. This is going to be my first game that I actually released to the Google Play Store. It is not yet ready, so I don't want to give too much information about that. So if you guys have a project here, it is going to store them down in a row. Here is your project name, your Unity version, which if you want to change, you can just click here depending on what versions you have installed. Your target platform, this is how you set it up for Android, Apple, Windows. I've only put what I use here. I have yet to make any games in Apple. I preferably stick with Android, so this is kind of my layout of what I use. And then last modified, this is just the last time you were actually inside of the project. So under our projects tab, we actually have a learn option. So last video, I told you guys about how you could easily pull up the learn tab so you didn't actually have to start with the beginner's version. And here it is right here. This is literally how simple it is. So we got our Lego micro game, our FPS micro game, and our karting micro game. And you can actually start these projects and Unity will show you step by step how to build them. And they will provide you with all these assets. So these games that you see here, this is exactly what you're going to be making, which is super cool. So this is definitely a good way to kind of get started and playing around with all sorts of games, puzzle games, 3D adventure games. It's a lot of fun and it's definitely helped me out a lot. Okay, Unity also has their own YouTube series about how to deal with specific components and tutorials, so that is also really good to check out if you're a beginner. Now under the Learning tab, we have the Community tab. The Community tab stores all sorts of different areas in their community where you can ask for help or find questions or answers that you are looking for. For example, we have the Unity blog, we have Unity answers, and we have Unity forums. There's also a live help option here. I have never used this, but from reading the description, you can get a one-on-one live session for help on any topic that you are stuck on, which is really amazing. Now I've definitely found the forums useful as well as Unity answers. If you guys Google anything, it's going to pull up one of these two, and 9 times out of 10 they're going to solve your question. So Googling for Unity is definitely going to help. Now I did receive a question about Unity install, so your actual version of Unity that you're using. I suggest for this tutorial series you go with 2020 and above. I've used the 2019 versions, I've used the 2020 versions, and they've been able to do almost anything I wanted to do. Now, as you get into more specific things, like let's say you're dealing with physics, there's a few updates where, you know, some physics might get messed up or some packages. Like Unity actually used to allow you to program in Java a super long time ago. Now they've actually gotten rid of that and you stick with C#. So there's some things like that, but there's not really any major changes, at least within the last year. So 2021 or 2020 is going to be a great version for you guys to work on. If you want to go to the same version as me, just to make sure there's going to be 0 issues, I'm using 2021.2 F1. If you guys want to download this, you can actually click this add button. And if you click download archive, this is going to open you up to Unity's website, and you can literally download any version of Unity that has been available. So even if you had a update, you updated your project by mistake and something went wrong, you can easily download the version back. Or if you deleted a version by mistake, you can obviously come and download it back. So it's a really, really, really awesome place. As you see, we have 2020, 2019, 2018, 2017. So you guys can go back and find them, no problem. But for this tutorial series, I recommend staying 2020 and above. They also do have the recommended release here, which probably has the least amount of bugs or issues. But again, I've actually never come into an issue with Unity itself. It always has worked pretty well for me. And then obviously when you download them, you can just add them into here, and then when you select them, you just click your target platform. Now, let's talk about actually making a project. So the first thing we're going to do is hit this new button here, and this is how we can actually pick our project templates. So we have a standard 2D template, a 3D template, and HDRP, or high definition render pipeline. This is a template that's really, really good for advanced companies that are trying to push graphics to the extreme. There's a lot more mathematical calculations you can do to pull out really good quality, and I definitely do not suggest this for beginners. It will look kind of familiar to the regular 3D layout, but there's just so many options in there. And you might get confused, so let's just hold off on this for now. URP, or Universal Render Pipeline. This is like HDRP, but toned down just a bit. So it's a little bit better in 3D, but it's not as advanced as HDRP. So I always suggest URP for any project that somebody's doing if they are moderately advanced. You know, they've had over a year in Unity, they're comfortable with the platform, and actually know how to update all their materials to URP, which I'll probably do in a video in the future. And then with the new 2020, we actually have this mobile 3D and mobile 2D. Now, I love to make mobile games, but I have yet to actually use these features. I've always just used 3D or 2D, but most commonly, if I'm making any project, I use 3D. The reason for this is I can easily upgrade to HDRP or URP inside of this 3D option, which is really, really great. So if I did decide I wanted to take a step up, there's no issues with that there. So we're going to open up a 3D template. Even if I'm making a 2D game, I like to open up a 3D template, and I will show you guys why. It is a lot easier for doing particle effects on UI. So for example, in Angry Birds, when you knock the birds off the tower, you get 1 star, 2 stars, or 3 stars, and they typically have that little explosion effect when the stars come in. So those are particle systems that you attach to images or text boxes, and it's actually a lot better to do in 3D. I will show you guys this down the road, and you'll know what I'm saying 110%. Now, we also have 2 things on the side here. We have our project name. So right now it's set to New Unity Project. You can name this whatever you want. So we're going to name ours My First Game. Okay? And then down here in this location, this is where your game file is actually going to save. Now this is really important. You're going to want to know where this is in case any sort of files go missing. For example, anytime you save something in Unity, it's going to make a meta file, which actually saves the information. And sometimes when switching Unity versions, meta files can go missing, and everything is going to come up with errors. It's not going to let you build anything. You're going to be so confused. You're going to say, what's a meta file? What's a meta file? And you might have moved your project around to a different file by mistake, or there was some sort of update or some sort of issue. So you definitely want to know where everything in your project is sitting. So I typically make a folder, which I have right here, called Unity Projects, and I save everything into there. And I only keep my Unity projects in there. That's it. So I know it's going to be there, and I'm not going to lose it. And if I do lose it, well, I don't know. Then maybe you're into some issues. But that should be good enough. Just keep a folder and store it in there. And I think that's going to be it for this video, guys. So actually here. So we got My First Game. We're actually going to create it. Now the build process isn't very long depending on your computer, but this should take anywhere between 30 seconds to a minute. If it is not doing this, you might have a computer that's a little bit too slow, or maybe there's just some sort of error, so try resetting your computer, but you should be fine. So it's going to import its basic elements, and we will come back when it's finished. Awesome, guys, and here we go. So this is going to be your main Unity screen. And now I know a lot of this looks very, very scary, but I promise you it is not actually that scary at all. And you will eventually come to a point where this isn't enough and you actually need more. So this is going to be our main screen, and next episode I'm actually going to show you guys a little bit about every single area here so you know 110% what you're dealing with, and we might even get started on our first game. This is super exciting. Thank you guys very much for watching. By the way, I am new to YouTube and I'm trying to make sure that these videos come out in a good enough quality where you guys don't want to turn them off and to where you can understand everything perfectly. So if you guys have any issues, whether it's with microphone quality or when I'm coding, maybe the code's too small, or maybe I'm just going too fast in general and you need some more explanations, please let me know so I can fix this for you guys. I want you guys to be able to rely on this series. I've been digging through a lot of the information that are given out to newbies, and some of the stuff is just way too in-depth, or they're missing certain parts, or it's just really not that good of a tutorial in general. So I'm trying the best I can to actually filter that stuff out and give you guys just the good, straight core content that you need to get started. I don't want to waste your guys' time. I want you guys to start making games and having fun, and you're going to. So thank you very much for watching, and until next time, we'll see you later.